in just hours, the world will witness a rare cosmic dance, the September 21st to 22nd partial solar eclipse. So here's everything you need to know, starting with what's happening. Imagine looking up and seeing the sun with a giant bite missing. That's what a solar eclipse looks like. But wait, you might say there won't be one in October, and you're right. But this isn't any ordinary eclipse. It's a partial solar eclipse. That means the moon will pass between the Earth and the sun, but the moon will be at its farthest point from Earth. As a result, the moon will appear smaller than the sun, which is where the partial comes in. The moon will cover a portion of the sun throughout its journey across the sky, leaving a chip-shaped outline of the sun visible. This is different from a lunar eclipse, which happens when the Earth casts a shadow on the moon. So remember, solar eclipse, moon in front of the sun; lunar eclipse, Earth in front of the moon. It's like they're playing cosmic switch and baggage. If you're wondering, we're due for a total solar eclipse soon. Mark your calendars for April 2024. I've got you covered. You can check out my video about it. Now, let's get back to the September eclipse. Next, let's talk about when and where you can witness this celestial event. According to NASA, the partial phase begins when the moon makes its first contact with the sun's disk and ends when it makes its final contact. This occurs in the morning of September 21st. According to Indian Standard Time, for those in New Zealand and Eastern Australia, ULL see the most spectacular view of the partial solar eclipse as the moon takes a substantial chunk out of the face of the sun. Up to 86% of the sun will be covered by the moon in some parts of New Zealand. The eclipse will then traverse across the Pacific Ocean, making its way toward the west coast of South America by mid-morning on September 22nd. While most of the eclipse will occur during the night in India and Europe. Those in the Americas will be able to see the partial phase as the moon makes its final approach to the sun. Unfortunately, if you're in India, the eclipse will begin after sunrise, so you won't witness the partial phase. Same for those in most of Africa and the Middle East. But don't despair. Technology has you covered. Websites like Time and Date and Space.com will offer live streams of the eclipse, so you can witness this spectacle remotely. To find out the exact time of the eclipse in your city, check the details below. Now that we know when and where it will occur, let's discuss how you can enjoy this cosmic show safely. First things first, sunglasses are a strict no-go. Even those touted as 100% UV protected aren't designed to handle the intensity of a solar eclipse. Looking directly at the sun during an eclipse can cause permanent eye damage or even blindness. Certified eclipse glasses, on the other hand, allow for safe viewing. These glasses meet the International Safety Standard ISO 12312-2 for solar filters. They have special film embedded in them that blocks out most of the sun's light, while still allowing you to see the eclipse. Regular sunglasses don't meet this standard. You can also make a simple projector to view the eclipse. Here's how. Take two pieces of paper and punch a hole directly through the center of the first sheet. Place the second sheet on the ground or propped against something like a tree. Then place the first sheet with the hole in it facing the sun. The light of the eclipse should pass through the hole in the first sheet and onto the second sheet on the ground. This will give you a small projection of the eclipse. Now that we've covered the logistics, let's talk about the human side of eclipses. People have been fascinated by these celestial events for thousands of years. Ancient cultures often saw eclipses as signs of divine intervention or omens of impending doom. Some believed that the sun god was being devoured by the moon goddess. Others thought that an eclipse meant the gods were angry. The Mayans, for example, saw eclipses as a warning of impending danger. In India, ancient texts like the Mahabharata and the Ramayana mention solar and lunar eclipses. In India, a solar eclipse is known as Surya Grahan and a lunar eclipse is known as Chandra Grahan. There are specific rituals associated with each. For instance, during a solar eclipse, Hindus traditionally refrain from eating or performing any life-sustaining activities like cooking. There's even a term for this, Sutak period. It's a purification ritual observed by some Hindus during a solar eclipse. The duration of this period varies based on local traditions and religious texts. During this time, people are encouraged to engage in prayers, meditation, and acts of charity. They believe that the eclipse period is considered impure because it is associated with the temporary absence of the sun, which symbolizes knowledge and the power of darkness or ignorance. Fasting is also common during the Sutak period. It's not mandatory, but many choose to fast as a form of self-discipline and to seek blessings or forgiveness. When the eclipse ends and the sun's light returns, there's a ritual called Da Puja, which involves worshipping the sun to purify it from the effects of the eclipse. The ancient Greeks also had their own beliefs about solar eclipses. They believed that an eclipse happened when the moon passed between the sun and the earth. The ancient Chinese saw eclipses as omens of important events. For example, an eclipse in 1180, one was seen as a bad omen for the reigning emperor. The truth is, throughout history, eclipses sparked both fascination and fear among civilizations around the globe. But today, thanks to modern science, we understand the mechanics behind these celestial dances. We know that a solar eclipse occurs when the moon casts its shadow on the Earth, or when the Earth casts its shadow on the moon, which is why we can predict these events so accurately. The predictability removes some of the fear, but it doesn't diminish the wonder. Every eclipse is a unique celestial event, a moment when the moon and the Earth align in a cosmic ballet that has captivated humanity for millennia. Whether seen as an omen, a scientific marvel, or a breathtaking natural phenomenon, eclipses continue to hold a special place in our collective consciousness, reminding us of the mysteries and grandeur of the universe that we call home. You might be wondering, why do we care about this particular eclipse? Well, as I mentioned earlier, not everyone gets to see eclipses equally. If you live in the Northern Hemisphere, you might have witnessed the 2017 Great American Total Solar Eclipse. But if you're in South America, you've probably waited years to see a total solar eclipse. This is because the path of totality, the center line of the eclipse, is different every time. It's like a cosmic game of hide and seek. So this eclipse is important because it gives us a sneak peek of what's coming. It's a warm-up act for the main event, the total solar eclipse in August 2026. This eclipse will take a bite out of the sun, covering up to 99% of it. And if you're thinking that sounds similar to what will happen in April 2024, you're right. But this one will be different. It will offer the longest duration in North America since 1806, as the sun prepares to take its bite with the partial eclipse approaching. I encourage you to look up and embrace the wonder of the cosmos. Whether you see it, live above you, or online, you're part of a global audience looking at the same sky. If you'll be watching, drop your location in the comments. Let's see how many countries we can represent together under one sun. That's all for now. Thanks for joining me on this journey to understand the September partial solar eclipse. Don't forget to hit subscribe. You never miss an update on upcoming eclipses. Until then, keep looking up. The sky connects us all.